everyone. Today I thought of sharing with you all like 8 signs that someone could have relationship OCD. So I'm going to go one by one. Actually, when we hear OCD, that is the meaning of that is obsessive compulsive disorder. We normally have seen this in people who have this constant cleaning urge. Like constantly they want to wash their hands or constantly they want to clean. So, but here today I'm talking in terms of relationship, how someone could act in a more OCD way when it comes to relationships. So here I'm going to tell you 8 signs. Like this whole relationship OCD is quite like common. Like this can go like if I take a scale, relationship OCD being quite severe situation, and then relationship anxiety would be in this side of it. So, like someone could not really have relationship OCD, someone would have relationship anxiety. So, like like with the severity, we can say that if someone has a relationship OCD, whereas another person could have very minor symptoms where they just have time to time some relationship anxiety that they experience. But anyhow, like if someone feels like they are constantly obsessed about the whole relationship where they are normal day-to-day life getting impacted, I would suggest you to watch this until the end of the video because this would quite be helpful in order to recognize these things. So once you become aware, like that is like you are already healing, start the healing process because being aware is the biggest, it's like you are getting aware is like 70% of the healing right then and there. So it's very important we become aware what's truly going on. So basically, relationship OCDs, you are quite obsessed about the relationship and then the myth of the one. You want to make sure that you found the right person, and therefore you are constantly like ruminating or going into compulsive behaviors. We are trying to figure out whether is this the right relationship. Constantly like Googling, is this the right thing for you to move forward? So these, like I will share with you, these are just common symptoms in ROCD. So right now I will share you one by one what are the signs someone could have relationship OCD. First sign is they are quite compulsive. They have compulsions. So when they are getting into a relationship, like when they are in the relationship, so they are constantly like either they have compulsions where they go on ruminating, is this the right relationship? Like, I mean, so many questions they are going to ruminate around. Do I love enough? Does he love me enough? And is he attractive? It's like compulsive ways. And then another person could have a compulsion of constantly Googling and seeing the compatibility of the partner, you know. So, what are the other compulsions we could think of when it comes to relationship or dating? Mostly, like I could say that rumination and then like constantly Googling whether is this the right person, and also compulsion to go and ask from your loved ones or friends is like, are we a good match, and to get the reassurance again and again. So, these are quite compulsive behaviors which goes around relationship OCD. And then the second thing is intrusive thoughts on worst case scenarios. Like when you are in the relationship, you are constantly getting these worst case scenarios coming up in your head, how this relationship going to end, how this is not going to work out, or like you have worst case scenarios, you just imagine your partner cheating on you, all these like worst case scenarios like being imagined by your mind. So all these intrusive thoughts come into your head constantly, and then for someone who has anxiety, like would have situations, but like here OCD is where like you are full of these intrusive thoughts where this really affect your day-to-day life, you know. So like this is where you just have intrusive thoughts about worst case scenarios, and then that really makes you feel quite anxious about the relationship, and that is another one more side. And the third thing is sense of urgency. You feel like you need to do something immediately. Whenever you have these intrusive thoughts, like you feel like you want to do something right now about the situation. Like for example, like when you have this like the sense of urgency is where when you have this whole intrusive thoughts going on, like you get to act urgently for something, like as I said, Googling and then just getting reassurance from a friend or something like that, or you just checked on astrology or whatever you want to get. This is like a sense of urgency that you need to do something right now. So this is also another sign that you have relationship OCD. And then the next thing is, fourth sign is problem hopping, where like first you just think about, okay, is he funny enough? Mm, yeah, okay. And then like once you, okay, that day that he said something quite funny, okay, like, okay, it's fine. And then once that is being assured, you go to the next one. Is he attractive enough? Is he broad enough? Like, does he has enough whatever? You know what I mean? So whatever you think that you will solve in this one, the thoughts that having, that is not going to end, trust me. It just go to another problem. And then you start going ruminating around that, and as if you want to have a solution right then and there. And the fifth one is like you constantly want to fix a problem. Like you constantly get the urge, okay, I need to immediately fix a problem in this situation. Like, okay, like what would I do? Like if something happens in the relationship, like or something like that, okay, I need to fix this immediately, or that kind of urgency, like constantly in a way how you can fix a relationship, that kind of a sign. And then the next thing is there could be people who have this constant urge to break up with the partner. Like each time they feel they have some kind of a problem or a conflict, rather than seeing it with a distance, there's the problem is not the person, problem is the problem, which is not the person. So you have the separation between the person and the problem, and rather than trying to solve the problem, each time some conflict happens in the relationship, you get the urge you need to break up with the person, because if like you just foresee the future and see that okay, this might not happen, so I might as well break up right now rather than going in and breaking up into the future. So like this breakup urge is constantly there. This is one more sign. People could have relationship positive, but they might not have this particular sign. But this is also some people uh, has that. And then the next thing is black and white thinking also goes very close with OCD, where you think in very extreme way, like, for example, if I don't do this quite right, this relationship will all fall apart. This is very extreme way of thinking. Like, just because something happens doesn't mean that the whole relationship break apart. Like, so it's like this also comes from perfectionism. And so, like, when you have this black and white thinking, you can come into a more like gray area. So that is also one more sign that a person has relations where they are constantly thinking in black and white way, like either this person is so amazing or either this person is so bad. Like, and at one point that like you're so okay, this is it, that's it, and then you're ready to leave. So it's like more extreme way of thinking, like black and white thinking. And then the eighth one is you're hyper aware about your feelings, and then you're constantly checking in yourself. Am I feeling love enough? Or is he loving me enough? Like, am I having the right feeling in the relationship? Like, it's just you're hyper aware of your feelings. And also, some people, also the people who have relation with OCD could have the need to be constantly in a very intense positive emotions all the time, which you get influenced by all these romantic movies out there, which is Bollywood, Hollywood, whatever. So these things just shows like these movies really portray very happily ever after scenarios where those are not the reality of people's lives. So people get influenced by these, and each time someone feel bad feelings, they think this is not the right relationship. Like if it's a right relation, you need to feel good all the time, which is not at all the case. So this is one more sign someone could have relationship OCD. So I hope you had a good understanding about how what is relationship OCD and what are the signs someone could have that. If you have it, you can see whether what are the signs you have, and you can start working on them either with a therapist or through there are so supportive resources out there where you can buy a book on relationship OCD, or we can work on with a therapist. So see like and start working on these, because these can really affect. We have heard about how this whole OCD around cleaning works, and this is not a topic that which is being widely discussed, but mostly women are really affected by this problem. So that's why I thought, okay, let me address this. And like some people might not have exactly relationship OCD, but it might be not so severe situation where they have just relationship anxiety. But for both of the people, I believe this is quite helpful to learn even about relate, because that's the extreme version of it. So knowing all this might be very useful in your life if you have this kind of relationship anxiety. Well, yeah, okay. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day, and thank you.